Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined, as always, by...
me.
The Gorgatron.
He's
here.
I'm here.
Joining us also today is Allisyn Rudeen, the angel, the guardian angel of properties.
The guardian angel of properties?
I kind of like that.
I was going to say, I was like the
New
CEO
name
of
tag.
KPS, but whatever.
Hey, guardian angel.
So Allisyn, for those of you who haven't listened to some of the previous podcasts, which you haven't, go back, take a listen. She is the operations manager for Classic Property Services. She handles all of the maintenance. Basically, anytime there's an issue, you talk to Allisyn. You wait an hour,
if you want
it's
things
solved.
done, you talk to Allisyn. If you want things not to fall through cracks, you talk to Allisyn. If you want things to just happen, you talk to Allisyn. If you want things to happen 24/7, you talk to Allisyn.
Yeah.
You have to. It's
Yeah.
the only person.
If you want to make sure to come in on budget, you talk to Allisyn.
That's a big one. Very.
It's
I
like
like
a-
to come in under budget, actually.
Oh,
And the most important one, you ready?
yeah?
If you need someone to split a pizza with,
You talk to me.
you talk to Allisyn.
Allisyn's got you.
Or just give it away.
And Gordon frequently does need to split a pizza, so...
Right. That would happen with me, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I had an eventful week. I don't know about you guys, but
It's been very eventful.
I feel like a lot of stuff has
I
been
slept
happening.
in the office
You slept in the office.
underneath my desk.
Yeah, I feel like everyone that I've been speaking to in the industry has been kind of getting crushed this week. So,
Yes, I agree.
but, you know,
Go on,
like the
tell-
Phoenix reborn,
Yes.
we all,
Crush
listen to
in
these
what way? Let's deal crushing, mental crushing. What?
I had a couple deals fall out of bed, had some personal stuff take place as well that was unfortunate and sad for a family here. And how about you? What do you got?
I had some personal stuff as well as a few big repairs that never got done, so we had to get that fixed. It was a rough week, to say the least.
Yes, that was the general consensus around the office. That was a little of a topic we took on last week too. But I don't know. My day or week life is fantastic.
It's about to be absolutely. I was
always
talking
good.
with. I'm gonna give a shout out to Herman Antonov here. We were
Shout
texting
out.
last night.
Shout out Herman.
It was like 10:30.
Hashtag Remax results.
Oh.
Antonov Group.
Antonov Group.
So we were just
The only
texting
group to
back
get
and
things
forth.
done.
Yeah, and he and I were going back and forth and just like laughing and having a good time about. Let me read you the last text.
Through
he sent me.
texting and texting emojis. Or
Through texting, no emojis.
No emojis. Okay.
Oh,
But-
what kind of text is that?
So anyway, his last
Yeah.
thing
How do
is,
you know he's gonna be laughing if you don't even use emojis?
dude, I've been chewed up and put through the blender yesterday and today, but tomorrow is a brand new day. Get some rest and keep grinding. That was his advice to me.
Yeah.
That's why, there's not a lot of
Simple, but
people
it
like
works.
that. It was perfect.
Right.
So one thing that I wanted to touch on then, and it's kind of unrelated to that, just wanted to get that out of the way. We're ready to push forward. Is the concept of taking risk. And the reason why that kind of came back and the new perspective that I have in my head is my dad just read the book, Why C Students Work for A Students, which we also have
I just
up
saw
front.
that, yeah.
Yeah. And he had a lot of interesting points. And
Which one are you?
right. I'm like a B student. I don't fit into either category.
I was asking the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But all right, now I know.
Raise your hand.
Anyway, the point that he made, and initially, like, what would you think? Why would that, if someone made that statement, what would you think is the reasoning behind C students working for A students?
Because C students just want to, well, they don't just want to work, but they want to work, but they don't want to take the risk to do it themselves and to start a company themselves.
The C student or the A
No,
student?
the A student works for the C student.
Right.
And I think you posed the question backwards.
Yeah.
But that's...
I was going to say.
Right.
But
All you
a lot of people are
4.0s
fearful.
are working for the 3.0s.
yeah, and they're just willing to start a business, see how it goes. They're not afraid of their own fears, I guess. And
Yeah.
if you can get over that.
My initial thought was that it was just, people who tend to be more intellectual tend to analyze and continue analyzing
Yeah.
and focus on analyzing and not actually
And
getting
paralyzing.
out there. Right. Like we have someone in my family who I won't name who it is, but basically they were always notorious for, as a kid, if there was something tall, they'd be like, I'm going to jump off it. We'll see how it
Was it
goes.
you?
No, it wasn't me.
We'll figure it out.
I always
Yeah.
wanted to look over the edge and then make someone else go first and do some
Try
science
it
experiments that way. But just that boldness to go out there and do something, avoiding that analysis paralysis that we so often mention. That's what I assumed it was all going to be about. But the book made another argument, which I found very interesting.
I wonder, because I have my own theory, but I'm curious to see what the book said.
Okay.
Is mine right?
I'll tell you, and
You're going to say it's right.
Goran's writing his down right now, and we'll see if it's
fact checking. She's fact checking me. All right.
So the point that he made is ACE students have really invested in themselves. They've really spent a lot of time, and they understand that the hard work that they're putting in the academic system is going to be able to carry over and give them a secure job where they're going to make a decent living wage. And
they can live with that.
Right. And they just they put the work in, they have something to lose, they tend to think a little bit more conservatively. Whereas the C student, in quotations, right? But the C student looks at their options and says, you know what? They're pretty limited. I have limited resources right now, limited marketable skills. I'm willing to take a risk. I will bet on this business enterprise that I want to start, or bet on myself in this investment that I'm going to do. And that was the key. The fact that their limitation of options didn't give them the same feeling of loss if whatever gamble they took didn't pay out. And I think that's an interesting point.
Yeah. They don't have as much
I
to
think
lose,
so too, and I kind of agree. My take was on, and me. Well, it's interesting. You would think that I'm a C student, but actually, I was really good in school. Not because I was super smart, but because I figured out a way to actually get the stuff done. Obviously, without cheating.
Right.
But that's just
right.
I was an entrepreneur in school, okay, and that's how I got a 4.0. But
he sold his test results.
no, well, whatever.
They can't change your grades now, so you might as well come clean.
Yeah.
No, I think the fact that I don't consider myself like super smart or that I have some kind of a great pizzazz about myself when it comes to like math, tech, English,
fancy book learning.
Yeah, fancy book learning, which it's kind of like that dumb effect when you're just kind of oblivious to things and you don't take the fear doesn't take over.
Yeah.
And when fear doesn't take over, then you're just like doing things.
Then you're fine.
Yeah, as they come, and sure enough, when you start doing things realize or materialize into something. Your own business or an entrepreneurial way of life where you're not doing a 9-to-5 job, whereas somebody that's super smart or overly analytical will have that fear on their back because they've analyzed the ridiculous downfall of whatever task that they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I think I definitely get caught in the trap of trying to completely mitigate risk at all times, especially on investing. And that may stem partially from the fact that a lot of times I'm representing investors. And if it's your money and you're not 100% in full understanding of the risks in the same sense that someone who's in the industry is, it's hard for me to want to just swing for the fences on it and lose your money, but also potentially give you some giant upside. So we're trying to be consistent and trying to consistently produce a result, which does somewhat limit what your upside is as well.
Right, and I think it's up to debate whether or not if you're an A student, can you develop yourself into a C, and vice versa? Can you be better? I think you can always be better. You can learn to adjust and readjust, through constant learning, if you will, or through strategic partnerships. That's another reason why, myself and my business partners, Ryan and Dario, we work so well together is because of that dynamic where we are not only growing on ourselves, but we all have these traits where, we are all ABC students. Mm-hmm. And that's like the best of all worlds, and things just happen.
Yeah, no doubt. What do you think, Allisyn?
I agree. A lot of it in regards to. Quit making fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to see if you agree with me. You have kind of like.
I agree. In regards to like, once you get over the obstacle of fear, the world is the limit, honestly. And
what would you say? Were you an A, B, or C? Be honest.
None of the above.
You never went to school?
I went to school.
I'm just kidding.
It took me 8 years to get the 4-year degree.
Got it.
But I was more of a C student, I guess.
In high school?
In high school, yeah. I was more focused on sports. And then after high school and my later half of college, I finally realized, hey, school's actually kind of important. And
Right. Well,
learning more
so
and more and more.
There is kind of a case in point too, where if you are a C student or B or D or F, you can actually, I consider now Allisyn to be like an A player.
Right.
Like
It's crazy.
no question.
Yeah,
So
I
you
learned
can
from all
evolve.
the mistakes, in regards to.
What do you guys think I was in school?
I'm going to say you were a C.
I was going to say B or C.
I'm going to say C or D.
It's pretty much C.
Yes.
C, D.
I feel like you had fun.
Was Ryan chiming in? Ryan,
Yeah,
what
I
did you
heard
say?
that.
I said A minus.
A minus.
For everybody that didn't hear, he said A minus.
I had a point of not doing homework.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm like, this is a waste of my time. I understand the material, and I'm not buying the textbook because I can get
Right.
it from class.
Exactly.
So
That's kind of how I was.
that kind of sunk you a little bit.
Yeah.
I do well on the tests. I get A's on those. But
See, I did terrible on tests, but
Yeah, to me, it was a hit or miss on tests. It was just like, I did well on some, I didn't. But I didn't really do any homework either. I didn't
didn't
get
do
all my
homework.
homework done in class. I don't even remember. Man, this was like...
that was like 20 years ago.
Right, I graduated in 2001 from high school, all right?
So the main takeaway, kids, if you want to be like me, Allisyn, and Goran, don't do your homework.
Right, exactly. I don't think, kids now these days, they don't even have the homework in
They don't even
conventional
have
sense.
pencils
Yeah,
anymore,
they have
guys.
iPads and uploading homework.
How would you possibly know what kids these days are doing?
I have
got
nieces and
nephews.
nephews, man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn.
He teaches them how to use.
I was like, I know Isaac's young, but
So, the book and kind of the moral and the punchline of our podcast is,
well, I think there's a couple things. Number one, don't be fearful. Like,
Yeah.
Take calculated risks, find opportunities where you're plus EV. If it's a 50-50 that I lose $100,000 and the other 50% of the time I make $1 million,
Yup.
it's a pretty good bet. I'm going to
pretty
make
good.
that bet often. So number one, calculated risk.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the way that you show up to the party isn't necessarily the way that you have to leave. And using us kind of as examples where none of us were A students and loved sitting down and, doing every test, filling out every last bit of homework, but we've all made something definitely, above average.
Yeah.
So don't let your past performance make you feel like you don't have the ability to do something amazing in the future.
Yeah, past performance does not indicate future results
Absolutely.
or earnings.
Amen.
That's probably like an E-Trade slogan too, I think, as well.
Yeah, shout out E-Trade. Well, on that note, we'll sign it off for the week. Allisyn, thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Goran, as
Bam,
always.
see you next week.
See you next week.